What's up, y'all? Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. This video is gonna be a little bit different. I want to go over a poll that I posted 24 hours ago about the new KROZ fusion, Fragment Fusion, coming out next week on the 20th. I want to go over what that poll is, what it's all about. I actually got a decent turnout in terms of votes on the poll, so I think it's pretty nice. So let's just hop right over there, and then afterwards I'll talk about what we should be doing to prep for the fusion if you are going to be going for them. So let's get into it. All right, so if you are a new viewer, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate that. If you're an existing viewer, thank you for staying on the channel for so long. I've been doing video creation for this game for quite some time now. I am fully free to play on my main account, and I do have a pay to win account that I don't play as often, but I do hop on from time to time. Now, this poll, or this post that I have, attention Raider enthusiast, KROZ Fragment Fusion, mandatory fun or optional suffering, let's discuss. Basically, I was just like, okay, how many people are going to want to go for this fusion after we just had the Leo shenanigans, right? So I put yes, no way, Leo drained my account, waiting to see multipliers, and no skipping. I was surprised at how split this was. It's very, very close, I would say. But for the most part, yes, people are going to be skipping. I would say a little over half the player base is going to be skipping this champion, and then almost half is going to be going for it. But I'm only saying that because that counts out, if I were to count out the multipliers. So we have a quarter, basically, and then a quarter of people waiting to see his multipliers to see if he hits hard. Because if he's a hard hitter and he does bombs, it makes it that much easier or better to go for this guy, because he can do damage, not just having to land bombs. He can actually do more. So, and for most players, they want more damage on their account if they can help it. And of course, the Ogrins, a lot of people don't have Ogrins. It's one of the hardest crypts. And so unless you're lucky and have a ton of Ogrin champions that are legendary and even void legendary or mythical, then that's going to be a difficult faction for you to complete unless you have multiple copies of very strong champions. So in this case, this guy is going to be great for hard faction wars. If you're pushing even regular faction wars, he's going to be insane for the normal mode faction wars. And then he's going to be great in Curse City. Then he's going to be great in general progression. So early and mid game, you should probably be going for this guy because he's going to be an incredible bomber on your account. Let me refresh and see if there was another vote. There was not. So 20% of the player base just said, no, I don't want to do it. Or 20% of the votes, rather, not the player base. Waiting to see multipliers, 28%, no skipping, 28%, and yes, 24%. So yeah, I mean, fairly split. Of course, I have a lot of different viewers, and my viewer base is different from the larger creators. So of course, you know, maybe I have more free to play or low spend viewership, possibly. I don't know. I honestly haven't tracked that, but I might make a poll or a post on that. That would be kind of interesting to know. And then, yeah, so for me, I'm going to be going for this fusion. I think he's going to be very strong. He almost grants an extra turn, like Nishak. He gains 100% turn meter if he lands the bombs on 4 enemies. So in Arena, if he's landing the bombs on 4 enemies, he's gaining 25% per bomb landed. It's very, very strong. So don't count him out. He's going to be sneaky good, I think. He's not going to be like meta, maybe, who knows, but very niche. I would say niche off pick. So in a sense, like, he's not meta. It's obviously he's not meta like top echelons of the game, but for most players he's going to be very strong in Arena. So yeah, I think mainly I'm going for this guy for PvE, faction wars, Curse City. Definitely you shouldn't miss him just because people say don't go for him. Go based on your account progression and if you even have the resources to do it. So in terms of resources, if I look at my resources here, I've got 90 ancients, 31 voids, 3 primals, and 1 sacred. So I don't have a ton. Champ Chase, I should be totally fine. And then because I have Raph here, I've got remnants here, 2 remnants to pull for Champ Chase. So always save your remnants. These are some tips that you should do on your account now in terms of if you're going for this fusion, how to prep. You want to have save some remnants. We do have Curse City rotation going on, so try to get as many remnants as you can. Utilize them for Champ Chase. You can utilize fragments for Champ Chase. and that's really important to save your ancients. Don't pull your sacreds on this 2x that's happening right now this weekend. If you want to go for this fusion, I recommend not pulling your sacreds, because Summon Rush, the sacreds are the most points, okay? You don't want to end up pulling all your voids, because most of the time during fusions, they don't run a 2x voids. Now, this fragment fusion might be an exception because a lot of people aren't going for him. So sometimes Plarium will be like, okay, in order to entice people to go for this champion, let's run a 2x void, let's run a 2x primal, let's run a 2x on ancients, or the other. But if they're running a 2x now, then they're not going to have a 2x sacreds during the fragment fusion, more than likely. You also want to have a stockpile of mystery shards. Mystery shards are great for Summon Rush, right? So they're 1 point east for the Summon Rush. So if you have 1,000 mystery shards, that's amazing. Most of the time you need about 3,000 points just to get the fragments, right? The first fragments. And there's probably going to be 2 instances of fragments, so you're probably going to have to get 50 fragments from the Summon Rush, and then potentially 25 fragments from Champ Chase, or 50 from Champ Chase. But usually they put more in the Summon Rush over the Champ Chase. Sometimes they put 50 there as well in the Champ Chase. And I think they might have done it once where they put 75 fragments in the Summon Rush, but I could be wrong there. But either way, Summon Rush, the best is going to be Sacred Shards. Pull your mysteries so you don't have to pull as many sacreds, okay? Very important for that. Where can you get shards? Okay, places that you can get shards. Go to Tag Team Arena. Make sure you're farming this. I'm currently in Gold 3. I've said this time and time again. I never usually push Tag Team, but more recently I've been pushing up into trying to get into even Gold 4, because you get more points and you get more gold bars over time. But it does require me to constantly hit stronger teams. I've noticed that Gold 3 and Gold 4, more players of the player base will place stronger defenses so that they can stay in this higher tier. They put these stronger defenses earlier on in the week as compared to Gold 1 and Gold 2. So even on Thursday, sometimes on Friday, me being this low in the yellow, a little bit less than half, sometimes I'll even catch a couple of teams with only 2-man teams here, or even 1-man teams by Friday. But in Gold 3, I've noticed that they don't do that as often because they're going to get knocked back so quickly. So just a little tip, but yeah, you can get your Ancients here, you can get your Void Shards here, you can get your Sacreds here, and then don't forget about energy that you can collect as well. Mine will be resetting in 1 day. So save your gold bars, try to get those Sacreds as much as possible. I know a lot of people don't like to do tag, and even if you can't do the gold tag team and you're in silver, try to get that Void Shard as often as possible. Another thing would be going to the clan shop. So if you're in the clan shop, you get your clan quest points from Hydra, you get these gold coins, you get it from Chimera, and you also get them from, I believe, Siege as well, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not from Siege, but you do get them from Chimera and Hydra for sure. So you should be trying to stockpile Gilded Medallions. That's just to try to get stronger relics. But you can also get the Epic Book if you want to help with CVC. The Epic Books are, you think you get about 1,000 points each, which is nice. And then silver's there if you need it. Personally, I always collect the silver during CVC. I don't always collect the silver when it's not like a CVC week, or maybe I'm not trying to upgrade any of the artifacts or accessories I have, because I do like to save some of this gold coin specifically for when the Void Shard comes around in the level 12 spot of the Core Hammer. It's Core Hammer this week. Next week will likely be a Void Shard. So you can collect a Void Shard there. We also do have Doom Tower happening right now, where you can get a solid amount of Voids and Sacred Shards. So 2 Voids, 1 Sacred Shard, 3 Voids, and then another Sacred Shard. So actually you get 4 Void Shards from this rotation, and 2 Sacred Shards is very strong. Plus it's the best rotation for Doom Tower right now. We've got the Dark Fae rotation, so you're going to want to be farming that as much as possible for your lethal artifacts. So that's going to be huge. And then in terms of other areas you can possibly get more shards, of course, Clan Boss, hopefully you get lucky. And then you could, if you're not very far in Faction Wars, you can get shards. Right now, I don't think they even give you shards anymore up here. Yeah, they do a void, but it's at 705, but then no other shards here. You get a sacred at 785 and another sacred. You get a void at 830, sacred at 875, and a void at 890, and then a primal at 935. One primal for all that work feels kind of eh. So I wouldn't bank on doing that here. Of course, in normal mode, I feel like you get more of the shards. You get a good amount of ancients. You get a good amount of voids in each level of 100 or so levels. You get 3 sacreds here, as you can see behind me. Like, there's a lot more shards in normal mode as compared to hard mode. So, because hard mode's focusing more on relics as opposed to shards, because accounts are already pretty much in the end game at that point if you're farming hard mode content. Now when I say hard mode content, I'm talking faction wars, not just, a lot of people can mid-game farm the hard dungeons. So there's that. Now, in terms of other areas we can get shards, there's not too many other than events and tournaments. So you can snag an ancient shard here or there in an event. You can snag another ancient shard here, and then you want to get the gems. The gems are very impactful on everybody's account. Like I said, don't skip out on doing tag team. I'm only at 714, but I'm going to make it a point today to farm as much tag team as I can. Try to get to the essence, eternal essence, super hard to come by, as well as the ancient and 25 gems. These two are great too. The immortal soulstone you get over time. And then we do have this champ chase going on right now. It actually seems like this group, there was probably going to be a sniper. So most of the time, these are decent rewards, but not crazy. 20 eternal essence and 1 mythical book at 7,500. I mean, there's no mythical relics here. I mean, this is the forge pass material, so it's strong. Forge pass material can get you some pretty good forge relics. So the 75 gleaming fire gems would be nice to have. But, and of course the mythical tome. The issue is, I don't think I can do this, and many of you probably can't do this because there's a lot of people that spend a lot. So I wouldn't recommend utilizing all your resources to go for this unless you're a spender. Then in terms of Ice Golem, you probably would want to push this, especially if you don't have a crazy bracket. Like, say that there's not a lot of people focusing here. Doesn't seem very busy for this Ice Golem tournament. So I might push for this because it's almost 6 hours in and people are only at 775 points, but 50 gems here is what you definitely want to go for. If you can get the epic book, go for that as well. And then you get the basalt too, which is nice to level up your relics. One thing I wanted to note is I think that these, I forget what these are called, like magma stones, they're very hard to come by. And I think when you're leveling up relics, you have to wait like a week to get more. And then when you're constantly swapping your relics around between champions for farming or trying to push hard mode faction wars, it can get a little annoying wasting all of that. I wish there was a better way to get more of those. So yeah, I'd say in terms of prepping yourself, just make sure you have a good amount of gems. Try to get over 1,000 gems if you can help it. Also save your gifts here that you get on every other day in terms of these energies. So every other day you get a full energy and it saves for 99 days. Now I did get this, that's 2 days though, so I won't be able to use that. So I'm going to utilize it getting masteries farmed on Leo or other champions on my account. And then another thing that people don't always say, but there's a lot of people who only do Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare. I do recommend trying to put a key into brutal and hard every day if you can help it. Don't use gems for it, but sometimes I can do brutal and hard as well as Nightmare, Ultra Nightmare. Just gives you a better shot at getting another shard, so you can get another ancient or a void shard. Doesn't happen often, but it does give you a better chance at stockpiling more shards. Other than that, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are other tips and tricks you can leave for other viewers that would help them along their way, especially if they're prepping for a fusion? Let's make this interactive. And make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another upload. Thanks for watching. Take care.